Hi guys, welcome to today's episode where we have an extraordinary guest with us. Someone who has not only witnessed but has also been instrumental in shaping the higher education landscape in India.
Join us as we dive into a compelling conversation with Dr. Shiju Sebastian, a visionary leader and strategist behind the success of Christ University. With years of experience in navigating the realms of academia and business, our guest has driven transformational change with a steadfast commitment to values, innovative thinking, and strategic intent.
In this episode, we explore the power of strategic decisions that have propelled Christ University into the national landscape, as well as the pivotal negotiations and experiences that shape his journey. From the lessons learned in academia to practical insights on leadership, communication, and ethical business, our conversation provides listeners with a wealth of wisdom and practical advice. We also discuss fascinating perspectives on generative AI, international cultural insights, and the role of serendipity in groundbreaking achievements.
So, whether you are interested in education, business, strategy, or the stories behind great institutions, this conversation promises to deliver something memorable. So, buckle up yourself for an inspiring discussion about the values, vision, and leadership with insights you'll want to carry forward into your personal and professional journeys.
Hi, sir.
Good
Good
morning,
afternoon.
Atul. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
So thank you so much for coming, sir. It's a pleasure to have you here. Um,
Pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.
all right, sir. So we'll start without wasting any further time. Yeah, and we'll start with the questions. Okay. So as we all know, and you have developed your career in public relations, aviation sector, negotiations, entrepreneurships, organic farming and all. So we're just going to be basing our questions around it just to try and understand the whole business landscape a bit more better from an expert like you. So my first question from you is that your expertise in public relations, networking, and negotiation is invaluable. How have these skills been essential in your career, both academically and professionally?
Yeah, Athar, you see, when Christ College wanted to become a university, it all actually unfolded from the vision of that great leader, Father Thomas, who wanted to give the best to his own people. When I say his own people, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, language, it actually it transcends beyond that. So it all emerged from there. So we actually built it brick by brick,
Mhm.
keeping small values intact. Relationship began to build.
Understood, sir. Okay, so yeah, so I mean, it's a very necessary aspect to have, some sort of visionary leader, when you're starting something new, right? So, yeah, all right, sir. Now,
Absolutely, yeah.
right, so that was a good answer,
It,
sir.
as I
Starting,
as I always tell, it all begins with that great vision.
yeah.
So such great visionary leaders always are concentrated on such kind of North Star.
Mhm.
They're not bothered who are there to follow. There is absolutely no deviation from the core values. You take any great leader for that matter, any great organization for that matter, it is built on such small values, enduring values, which we call the strategic constancy.
Okay. No, understood, sir. Understood. Over to you, sir. You can ask.
So, the next question will be uh, what's the toughest negotiation you have ever been involved in? Any tactics or any dirty tricks ever you have used?
Okay, Saranya, I never had to use any kind of dirty tricks, but we always had to remain grounded. In the sense, yeah, there were many negotiations that I did, but I would say the birth of university and the negotiation that I did with the Bangalore University registrar at that time, Mr. Sanjay Veer Singh. So I mean, that was the toughest negotiation in the sense that, when a college becomes university, that too in the year 2007, 2008 we became, 2007 was the year of negotiation. So, there were a lot of nuances. And on one Saturday, I was with him, and it totally slipped out. But somehow, as I always tell you, that when you are grounded onto values, when you don't want to deviate from the core values, things actually fall in place. He signed the order and gave it. It was on a Saturday afternoon, which actually I'm explaining detail in my book, Effective Commitment in the Making of Christ University. Yeah.
It's nice, sir, to hear that. Over to you, Athar.
Yeah. So what is the biggest bullcrap you've seen in business strategy over the tenure that you've, worked with people and organizations? Any particular buzzwords or terminologies that people tend to use, but you generally rolled your eyes at because it doesn't even make sense and it's overrated. So I mean, have there been any such sort of incidents?
Um, Athar, if I understand you correctly, the whole strategy itself, the usage of, sometimes, people simply use the term strategy for a plan.
Hmm.
See, I would say that for Christ College, that going for deemed to be university status itself was a big question. It was a strategic decision it had to make, because no college at that time, a college of our kind, tried to do that. So the leader had to take that decision based on the strategic intent.
Hmm.
Strategic intent is, with limited resources, you are trying to achieve greater things. There is a future which is quite uncertain. There are your own employees whose moral certitude is quite weak, can turn on to any other side, but only strategic intent that would come to your rescue.
Yeah, all right. Okay, sir.
Did I answer your question, Athar?
Yes, sir. In some sort of way, yes, sir. Okay, so like I mean, basically, as we've also studied, like without any strategic intent, you're just going to be like going downhill when you're building some sort of organization, right? It's just the most
True,
important thing. Okay,
true, yeah.
okay. So you can ask.
Going to the next question. Sir, can you throw some more light on your journey in building ties and expanding its area in your vast years of teaching and associations?
Okay. See, Sharanya, most of the times things happen in a serendipitous way. Like, you know what serendipity is. It is not like things that happen usually. A coalition of events that take you and uh, and make impossible things, endless possibilities become possibilities through serendipitous moments. For instance, the whole birth of Christ University is one such, one thing leading to the other. Like, when we wanted to start something, we went for the proposal and we obtained it, and that led to the next one. Like, for instance, autonomy led to the NAC inspection. Sorry, the NAC inspection led to autonomy to starting of law programs, then the law programs to deemed to be university, then engineering off campus. All these are a result of serendipity and, I would say, God's providence. When you intend good things, when you want to do good things to the world, and when you throw a problem to the world marinates it, right? So that starts with the leader's magna anima, I would say. Magna anima is the largeness of the heart. So
Absolutely.
tomorrow you want to do something, you people want to do something, and you identify a problem in the society and you want to actually solve it, the world comes to help you and what determines the success is the strategic intent, the largeness of your heart, and enduring values.
Next question will be from Athar. It's over
Okay,
to
so
you.
okay, so I'm just I just made up this question based on the case study you gave us, yesterday, sir, that we presented in
Oh,
front of the classroom, the Gen AI model. Yeah. So, let's say that you're the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer, looking to expand their operations in a foreign territory. So you're working with the Gen AI company and you're overlooking all the functions, and your main goal is to expand into the Japanese workforce. Now, generative AI and the Japanese workforce, it's like two polar opposites, if I have to say, because their work ethics and their working standards, they prefer to be more traditional, right? They prefer more face-to-face meetings and all, and they prefer more human touches. So, how will you proceed ahead with your operations? Like, what kind of strategies would you possibly make to just enter the particular market?
That's a very tough question, Adav. But what I would try to do is see, like we discussed, if you are able to explain and convince to the people the apparent advantages of employing such generative AI, slowly and gradually things will fall in place. Because you remember we discussed that as a chief marketing officer, I need to take guidance from my finance people. I need to take guidance from my technology officer
Yeah.
in the company of the CEO. And as a chief marketing officer, I have to explain that there is going to be competitive advantage if we are employing generative AI. And slowly, once you're able to take this to the table of people and convince them and make them aware that this sort of new new jumping into technology is not going to take away humans' jobs, but it's
Mm.
only going to augment. It is going to supplement and complement.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, the communication is the key here, as far as I can understand, and how well you can give out and explain your value proposition that you're bringing on the table to the companies and to the people, right? So
True,
that was,
true.
yeah, that was a very good answer, sir. Personally, I love the Japanese culture and economy. I've been following it for long. Started to learn some language as well, so that is why
Yeah.
I thought of this question.
Good. Incidentally, I mean, when the topic came tomorrow, I'm going to meet the Chancellor of Sophia University, Japan. He
Okay.
is coming to Delhi.
Mm.
So, Dr. Sali Augustin. So, I'll be meeting him. So, maybe I can take this discussion further up, Arthur, and I'll remember you tomorrow.
No, no,
It's a
thank
very
you, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Um, so since you have such a vast experience in the aviation sector as well, have you heard about Ryanair? Are you aware about the Ryanair Airlines? The Ryanair Airlines, the
Yes.
American Airlines. What is your view on their marketing strategies that they're adopting, especially over social media, if you come in contact with that?
See, this particular airlines, unlike the United Airlines or the Southwest Airlines, as you mentioned, they have forayed into the social media, and that's where actually they make their business. This is a totally digitally native organization, and I think they are able to do well. See, the strategy that they have adopted is moving with the times. But
Mhm.
only one thing that we need to focus whether uh, whether they are able to create that value proposition and whether they are able to take it to generations.
Yeah, understood,
It
sir.
will depend upon what kind of further strategies that they adopt. It has to be constantly evolving.
Yeah, it cannot be static. Yeah, it has to
Yes.
adapt. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Because you remember if the Delta Airlines, Ed Baston, he talks about airlines all the time,
Mm.
continuously. adapting and adopting. During coronavirus time, how they all did, how they performed. Also, with regard to the fuel, that's a big issue. Although you involved in reforestation and issues like that, airlines and companies of that sort can never be able to compensate the kind of pollution and other things that are happening. But you know, I don't know. I don't have answer to that. Like if you say, if you adopt the principle of net positive that Paul Polman speaks,
Mhm.
Paul Polman, the former chairman of Unilever, whatever comes out of your business is your responsibility. The net result has to be positive. He talks about net positive. Supposing you are in the field of power generation, the carbon comes out is your responsibility.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, just had like one small, small follow-up question upon on this itself. Since we like talked about their social media marketing, they're active on Twitter. That is where they have like engaged the whole, their consumer base. But at times, what happens is like I just wanted to take your opinion on this, so that as a company, uh like Ryanair, they take some digs at their own consumers. They have some humorous and quirky kind of mindset when they make tweets. It's not really professional, or how you expect an international airline to communicate upon. They'll have some jokes, they'll crack some jokes upon you, they'll make some fun of you. So is it like also, I mean, as a company, do they also like be a bit cautious so as to not cross the line, and disrupt the whole consumer base by disrespecting them? Or are they like they can like go blind in with their humorous tactics that they're using so far?
Atal, that's another area that you are taking the whole discussion to.
Hmm.
What I feel is, insofar as you are not attacking a person, I would say ad hominem, you are
Mhm.
only attacking the idea and you are bringing humor to the whole business and workplace. I think that's a different strategy altogether, a different model altogether.
Okay. Also understood. Now, Saranya, you will take up the next question.
Thank you, Raghav. Uh, so the next question is, what issues do you think? Let's We are talking about the BlackBerry as they faced a downfall. So, what issues do you think BlackBerry faced that led to its fall from once a market leader to almost non-existent in the Indian market?
Hey, Sarane, you see companies which are not having long term plans, which have only the myopic vision. I always tell you, this is what, this is what I read in a Harvard article also, that you have to always keep one eye on the microscope and one eye on the telescope, because that is the kind of scenario planning, that is the kind of industry understanding that a company needs to possess. See, like I told you, Jeff Bezos, when he was asked what are the changes that are going to happen in the world, he asked, no one asked what are the things which are not going to change.
Hmm.
See, sometimes we need to focus on these two things which are going to change, things that are not going to change, and you develop strategies depending on that. See, like in India, what kind of transformation in the telecom world we have undergone after 2016, and especially after the 2G spectrum and the geo's advent. These are the clues that organizations need to take. They need to know their own business, they need to know the industry that they're operating, and they need to know all other businesses that are happening. So that kind of a 360 understanding is very, very imperative in any business that you're operating today. You can't say that, oh, this is not my area, therefore let me just abandon it.
So it's all means a long-term vision.
Yes, long short term as well as long-term vision, keeping one eye on the microscope and one eye on the telescope.
Thank you, sir. So over to you, Vata.
Okay, so now we're just gonna be, we're entering the fun part. Gonna ask you some personal experiences from your education and your international adventures. So, my question to you, sir, is that do you have like any hilarious or embarrassing stories from your travels that you've done abroad? You keep on traveling abroad, you meet the officials, the professors, so you must have some sort of experiences. And what was the most unexpected cultural change that you've had when you went to some different country as compared to India?
Um, Athar, that's a very, very, interesting question. When we travel abroad and when we are meeting different kinds of people, but in my case, what I've experienced in India itself, I had traveled a lot, the north, south, east, west. So basically, the human beings are the same everywhere. Only only that scale actually matters. So whether it is in US, Australia, Middle East, and other countries, um, I would say that uh, your expectation from other people, supposing you are going from a particular culture and you expect other people to behave, reciprocate in the same fashion for the other person, it doesn't really mean at all. That doesn't mean that there is no universal objectivity. It is there, but it is all the time colored by your subjective experience and expectation.
Hmm.
So I can't pinpoint one particular issue, but there have been numerous instances where uh, you felt deprived because of the expectation that you have from the other person, but you overcome that over a period of time. In India itself, it happens. North and South, people say, but now that I'm living in Delhi and I used to fly in and fly out earlier, the north that I experience now is not the north that I used to fly in and fly out. What I'm saying is that to really understand, you got to stay and really go deeper into it. That culture vis-a-vis the culture from where you are coming. But fundamentally, human beings are the same.
Yeah, agreed, sir, 100%. Has there been any one particular place that you've been, like if we talk about internationally, that it holds a special place in your heart, like you'd like to revisit it again and again because there are multiple countries there. Is there like any number one that you have?
Yeah, one such place would be, see, Harvard is, of course, the program Emerging Economies. So that's a place, would like to actually go and again do this. There is a business program that they have for the entrepreneurs. That's my actual, dream to be part of that again.
Fantastic, sir. Yeah. Over to you, Saranya.
Thank you. So the next question would be like, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why? So how would you use it to make the world a better place?
Okay, see, Saranya, one issue that has always troubled me is the bottom of the pyramid. People who do not have access to great products, they are worried about, hand to mouth kind of situation. They are only thinking about their day-to-day affairs, be it any country, be it any state. This always moves my heart. So if I get a superpower, I want to actually educate them and give them. See, when you educate somebody, as Plato says, you are bringing out the best in that person. Education. So the underprivileged, the underrepresented, the bottom of the pyramid people, which G.K. Prahlad calls, these people, if you are able to show them light and 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 the flame in them, if you are able to take to the next level, I would consider that as one of the exhilarating moments that I would like to have.
Wonderful, sir.
Maybe if I add to that, see, there are lots of products that are coming now. See, sustainable products. But when we look at the population and the large mass who are in this bottom of the pyramid, sometimes, your heart moves. And not sometimes, all the time, when you think about this paradox between sustainability and bottom of the pyramid, there is a big question mark. Thank you for bringing that aspect, Saranya.
So, moving to our next question, might be the last, but not the least. So, what do you think about management licensing? What if it should be permanent and it should be very like what we say? It should be very adamant to have it in the new upcoming world.
Management licensing, can you elaborate that?
If the government says we have licenses for doctors, engineers, so why not we have our own management licensing? So I want to have one of your point of view on that.
Okay, you would say, but that license would be for, because doctors, they are into that profession, engineers are into that profession, so management also should have a body like that, you mean?
Yes, sir. It should be it should be like a profession. Like we say it as a service, but why not we become it like a profession?
Yeah, I would say, Saranya, we have to go a long way to attain that, because anybody coming out from any random institution, anyone who is doing a random program, if they start calling them as managers. So first we have to actually compartmentalize. We have to decide what are the qualifications, the skills, the competencies required for it, and there has to be a kind of validating. You validate it, like for instance now, okay, medicine, engineering, apart from the convocation, there has to be a validation, someone who is really capable of, see, now you are giving me a business problem, or you are giving me a business plan, business model. I should be able to critically evaluate, and I should be able to provide solution. A company which is struggling, yes, when you call a management professional, that person should be able to solve that issue. Because now in India, the opportunities are, there's a reservoir of opportunities. So how am I able to find out a problem in the society? I told you, when we were, I think, Saranya, you were not there. The Revenge of the Tipping Point. This is the book that I am reading now, written by Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote 25 years ago a groundbreaking book, The Tipping Point. So after 25 years, he is coming out with this Revenge of the Tipping Point, and he says, in the society, social behaviors, issues of that kind are becoming concerns of the business. So business is not always, that finance marketing area. The whole world, the whole universe, and issues from there come out. And we also discussed in the class how McKinsey, companies of that sort, the consultants of that sort, who were advisors to United States, Canada, and France in the coronavirus time, strategic advisors, how they also deviated when certain issues came up. because for the sake of money, profitability, sometimes you forget ethical standards. So Macomb talks about it. So if we had to call somebody management professionals, as you said, in licensing, there have to be people with expertise, competence, skills, coupled with ethical values. Because I would say, Saranya and other only ethical values, that moral code of conduct, which will take our country to the next level. We are focusing on to small values, enduring values. If Christ University has reached this point today, it is all because of the enduring values. And whenever there is a kind of, deviation or things like that, it always corrects. Immediately, the institution corrects. Whether the suggestion comes from students, parents, alumni, any stakeholders, the institution is ready to correct it then and there. This is what I have observed, and this is what all the legendary companies have been adopting. And as individuals too, this is what I always tell you in the class: students who have enduring values in your own small ways, coming to class on time, taking your CIS on time, taking the assignments not just for the sake of the assignment, but for life per se, and building that connectivity in the class. You have such a diverse group in the class. When you are connecting to them after 3-4 years, you will realize the treasure of it.
So, absolutely.
Yes,
And I would say that by the time, especially in the undergraduate, this is what I have noticed: first year, second year, final years, you are such a you're fine-tuned individuals. You're ready to step into the whole world and ready to. That kind of a transformation is what Christ University all the time wants to do, and I'm proud to say that it is happening in this university. And students like you are the reasons for that. You understand and you know where to focus and how to make use of your 3 years time.
totally agree with you, sir. Uh,
Yes.
Thank you so much for throwing light upon that. This has been like a wonderful session. And none better person to have on like for our first official conference than you, sir. And yeah, I'd just like to, thank you for your valuable insights and your experiences that you've shared so far today, and for taking out time from your busy schedule. I'd
Uh,
like to, yeah, yes, sir.
sorry, please go ahead.
No, sir, you can go ahead. We like done with our questions, so if you have something to say, you can go
I
ahead.
want to really appreciate and thank you for this move that you have taken, because you realize that these type of insights are going to help others. It's not for yourself. It is for the whole community, that student community, that you have taken this up, and I really appreciate. And may you have all sorts of success in your future life. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Okay, sir. So, yeah. So as we wrap up, I want to, really emphasize upon our discussions. And if I just have to jot down the points, the importance of strategic intent, the thinking, the effective communication, and the ethicalities of, the people as well as the organization in today's rapidly changing business landscape is effectively, very crucial. And so your profession and your values serves as a testament for these power of these qualities. So thank you so much once again, for allowing us to take your podcast. And so we'll meet you the next time. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you. Bye bye.